Good morning and welcome to Inside Running on Tab Radio Racing and Sports.
Magnificio races to the lead, getting through Waterman's Bay. Magnificio narrowly from Waterman's Bay.
Our team will evaluate each race, interview leading contenders and update Tab Touch markets.
But now Delicacy, here she comes. Delicacy under the 59, went to Neverland and reeled up Dark Musket. It's Delicacy against the inside. Sublime, brilliant, greatness in the cup.
We trust you will enjoy this edition of Inside Running. Now, over to the team for their look at today's meeting.
Good morning, 7 past 8, 6.5 degrees outside right now on June the 14th, 2025. A little sports recap. The Aussies, well, they're in some trouble over there at Lords. They are ahead by just 69 runs. South Africa, 2 for 213 in their second session. To recap the footy last night, the Crows went down by 3 points in what Digby Beacham is calling one of the great games of all time.
Seb, good morning to you.
Good morning, Diggers.
Good to see you. Thanks very much for that lovely introduction. Good morning to everyone tuned into TAB Radio on this Saturday, June 14. I am joined by Scott Embry and Taylor Courtland in the absence of Darren McCauley. We're on a soft 5 track at Bunbury, Scotty, and I dare say Bunbury's going to do some more heavy lifting in the not too distant. Yep.
So plenty of travel to be done. Changes up how races are run and won. Lord Cheever will go around next week. I just hope it's not Pinjarra because I don't want to run him down the straight.
Bad luck.
Bad luck.
That's the situation that awaits Lord Cheever and Mitchell Pateman, a straight track run down there at Pinjarra, because we know next Saturday Strickland Stakes meeting will be down there in the Peel region. TC, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott and Digby. And we speak about Bunbury, and I think everyone after the first year back there at Bunbury were thinking playing on pace, but after Wednesday's meeting, it's been most horses in the field have been getting their chance at Bunbury this year, which has been good.
No rain in Bunbury in the past 24 hours, albeit they have had 41 mils in the last 7 days. That said, we are on a soft 5 track, and we know that track drains particularly well down there, Scott.
Well, we started with a 6 on Wednesday, and after 1 or 2 races, we're straight up to a 5.
Yep.
So it's racing very well.
All right, let's get straight into it, Seb. No time to waste. 8 races to work through. The first at Sydney today. Rose Hill is at 9 o'clock, so we'll try to be off by then. Race 1 is for the 2-year-olds. It's a set weights and penalties event at 11.59 over the 1,000 metres, and it is the Prince of Wales Hotel Plate, Seb.
Number 7, Pure Excess for Willie Pike, 215 and 122. Baby Pearl, 280 and 130 for Cape Lewin, 650, 180 at 9. Zali's Gift, $11.250. 3 Awesome Force, $20 and 365. Shakadactyl at $21. 1 Our Naughty Secret, $23. Number 6, London's Rascal at $34 and rounding out number 8, Flick and Rubies, $61.
Scott, Pure Excess had tongues wagging after the trial at Ascot on the 12th of May, went down the straight at Pinjarra, drew the wrong side that day, was still sent out a $2.20 favourite, ran third, wasn't disgraced.
Thought it was a good effort, actually, from the filly. Both of our favourites here, Pure Excess, Baby Pearl, both coming from a straight 1,000 to racing around a bend today. One goes forward in Baby Pearl, and that seems to be where most of the market support is, 340 into 280. And so Pure Excess, 185 out to 215, probably because she gets slightly off pace over 1,000 metres. But I thought from what I saw in that run from Pure Excess and what I saw in that trial was a filly that's got a good bit of change-up speed. And if she could just use that barrier to her advantage today, I thought that with a natural improvement from first up to second up, I thought she'd be hard to hold out.
What did you make of it, TC?
Should take really good natural improvement. We know one trial to the races is a big ask, and she was really, really good. I suppose a small knock second in that race was Artie's Eclipse, who didn't really frank that form on Wednesday. There have been 5 subsequent runs from that race yet to find a placing. I sided up with Baby Pearl. I really liked the debut run. I think trials were really good prior to that, and then ran into Luana Miss, who was one of the start 2-year-olds before things have gone quite wrong with her, unfortunately. And then last start, we're going to run into this issue for quite some time now. The 1,000 metres, do you forgive? Was it a bad run? How do you approach the 1,000 metre races? But I thought the effort was okay behind one that looks like Rostislav has got plenty of ability. I'm just going to bank on the fact that getting around a corner, Baby Pearl is going to improve a bit and be up on speed and be pretty hard to run down in the first at Bunbury. So I went 2, 7, 3 and 9 in the opener with not a heap of confidence, Diggers.
Okay, Scott, you?
I went the other way, but of course with Baby Pearl, it was the same scenario that we faced on Wednesday in that 2-year-old race. You had horses coming out of the Saturday form, the Baby Pearl, Rostislav in confidence race, and Sound of Speed comes out and wins, as opposed to Pure Excess, who's coming through a maiden. So I think here today that I'm happy enough to be with Pure Excess, but I would want a bit more meat on the bone to be entertaining backing her. 7 from 2, 4 Cape Lewin, only had the short course trial so far, a 600 down the straight and a pair of 400s, but he looks green and a bit wayward, but he looks like he has a motor. And 3 Awesome Force, hard to really tell. I thought in that most recent trial it was only a field of 4. They went really, really slow, but he was winding up nicely late and through the line. 7, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah, seeing it very similar to you two, gents. I sided up with Pure Excess. I was with her on debut, and she ran very well, I thought. And the manner in which she hit the line, probably 1,200 would have been better, but we're at the 1,000 again today. She has drawn low, and she's got change-up gears. So she goes on top from 2, Baby Pearl, your likely leader here. No knock on the form of this fellow, and he's also trialled up very well either side of those runs. 1, Our Naughty Secret. I think she is a filly who can come on from that first up performance. And 4, Cape Lewin. A little bit raw, but there is something there under the hood. 7, 2, 1 and 4 for myself. Seb?
The second event, the Donnybrook Glass Handicap over the 1,000 metres. Number 1, My Hidden Universe, $3 into $2.60. 7, Desert Whisper, $12 out to as much as $13 now into $4.20 and $1.50. 3, Prospector's Pick, $4.20 out to as much as $4.60 back into $4.40 and $1.50. 8, Supernatural, $6 and $2. 2, Songar at $11 and $2.70. 4, Celebrity Prince, $14. Number 1, Bayzid, $17. And number 6, Paddy's Flying at $31.
They'll go along quite quickly here, TC, I would have thought.
Yeah, not wrong. What's your opinion on how it's going to work out in that first 200, 300 metres? Desert Whisper leads, and I don't think Brandon Louis with My Hidden Universe will want to sit on the back of Desert Whisper. I'm thinking he probably wants some galloping room and try and gets outside Desert Whisper. Is that how you're reading it?
Quite potentially, or just sits at a flanks, I would have thought, Scotty, because she'll burn from that gate, and he won't, as much as he is an on-speed horse, he doesn't have blistering gate speed, but he's a musterer.
I think as quick as Desert Whisper goes, he can probably have galloping room without trying to get off the fence.
Yep.
I just thought that the way that this filly runs with 54 on her back, she's got one trick, and it's a good trick, but it's jump and run.
Yep.
And so there's only one way to ride her, and with the weight coming off her back, I thought they would just really allow her to stride. And so for My Hidden Universe and Bayzid, I just thought that they could almost string out here and end up not quite racing in single file, but I think pretty close to it.
How close do you think My Hidden Universe will be to Desert Whisper turning for home?
Length and a half.
Close
2.
enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably in a scenario where first horse to go past the leader, if they are to run Desert Whisper down, I think she's a genuine threat.
Oh, absolutely she is. There's no knock on her.
$12 opening price, really juicy, into $4.20 now. She's not on the second line of betting, Desert Whisper.
Yep.
I think they've picked out a really nice race for her.
And the track should suit the way that it has played down there, mostly TC as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The leaders clearly, and then you're going to get your choice of lane, which lane you want to run up the straight in. So Lucy's got all those sort of options. Now, the way we're explaining this race, Supernatural, she might just be run off her feet, and that's clearly a worry. But at around the each way price, I didn't mind her, because the last time she was at 1,000 metres, she was beaten a length and a half by Schmoove Mover. She has form around London's Image. Thought the last start effort was really good when winning a graduation 60, beating Sun Bronze 2's Frank the Form. It's just how far off the leader she's going to be and how long she's going to be running at 100% is probably the query, but the price just got me in a race where I thought it might be a little bit sticky early.
She's genuine, Scott. The one thing with Supernatural, like, she's a genuine filly, and that win when Braden Garth rode her, she's probably all out at about the 100, but she continued to find and give and give and give, and then she got there in the end.
And Paddy can save all the ground here today, and if it is a similar scenario to Wednesday where a few horses are starting to get up the track a little bit, he can just pick a nice economical path through them. Speaking of genuine, Songer gives 110% every time he goes to the races, and he's got form lines that would be easily good enough to win this as well. I thought it was competitive, but I am an out-and-out lover of My Hidden Universe. Just wary, second time at 1,000, he could be a little bit vulnerable, but I think he's pretty good. 5 My Hidden Universe, 7 Desert Whisper to freewheel out in front, 8 Supernatural to cut the corner and make a run at them. 3 Prospector's Pick has a lot of ability, still does a lot wrong, and I thought it was a tricky map for him today.
Yeah.
5, 7, 8, 3.
Okay, 5, 7, 8, 3 for Scott TC.
Number 8 on top for me, Supernatural, getting to an each-way price, and there's still 8 in the field, so that helps. Number 5, My Hidden Universe. Number 7, Desert Whisper, and the 2 Songer, as Scott's mentioned. And then first up last preparation there at Belmont on a soft 7 defeated Ginnivan. Those form lines are pretty good for a race like this. 8, 5, 7 and 2.
5, 7, 3, 8 for me. I am with My Hidden Universe. I just think he's a horse who's going to be able to go through his grades, and he'll appreciate getting his toe in. He'd actually like it a little bit wetter than this, but he is 3 for 3 on a soft. This is early in the day, so that track should still have some juice in it, and that will suit him. 7, Desert Whisper, your leader. She'll be there for a long way. 3, Prospector's Pick, and 8, Supernatural. So I'm 5, 7, 3, 8. Scotty, 5, 7, 8, 3. TC, 8, 5, 7 and 2.
Race 3 is the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap over the 1,690 metres. Number 3, Royal Gap, $3 out to $3.40, now into $2.90 and $1.40. 9, Yelling Up Girl, $6 out to $7.50, now into $5.50 and $2.10. Number 1, Why Me, $6.50 and $2.20. 7, Master Tactician, $8 and $2.50. 5, She's a Sheila, $8.50, $2.70. 4, Imperialise, $9 and $2.70, in from $12. 2, Asphalt at $12. Number 8, Rasmus at $13. 6, Sir Bear A Lot, $34. And number 10, Heaps of Moolah at $41.
I thought this race threw up more questions than answers, Scott.
Messy too. I think Rasmus probably finds the front. Heaps of Moolah, but whether or not he's got
sharp enough.
Yeah, I think he probably will be, because nothing else really wants to be there.
Yeah.
So in the end, I thought Heaps of Moolah probably led from Rasmus, and that's a scenario where your leader is the $41 outsider, and the Breeze horse is double figures as well. So it's one of those races where it could actually set up for them to get home over the top.
Royal Gap's short enough in the market, TC. Do you have any concerns with him over effectively 1,700 metres or not?
Maybe a small query, but I think that might be overridden by the fact that the horse is just going so well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as well as a horse that's won 4 times from 51 starts can go. Going really, really well. 2 starts ago was very good behind Bohemian Diamond over 1,300 metres, and then last start over the 14 on a day where it was pretty hard to make up ground there at Pinjarra was really, really good. Settled last, final 100 metres was really good. Now steps up basically 300 metres, and as you mentioned, it's probably not going to be any breakneck tempo, so maybe that also helps Royal Gap in the fact that he's going to run out a strong 1,700 metres, that it might be a 600 metre sprint.
Can I ask you two gentlemen, what do we make of the 2 runs back of Why Me?
First up, I was forgiving. 1,300 just too short.
Yeah.
Second up, thought he was pretty plain. He's better than that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Perhaps better than that in a race of this nature, but yeah, not a race that I'll be keen to be getting involved in. Scotty, your numbers, please.
I'm going to go with Master Tactician, just a little bit of a point of difference, each way type selection. Thought that this race actually set up quite nicely for him in the sense that he can park up close handy. I think he's almost 1 out, 1 back here today. He's on the 6-day spin. He's got a couple of convictions, but the other thing is, as much as his 3rd placing last start was only in a moderate Class 3, it's worth remembering that was the first time he's ever run a place on a good track. He just needs it soft.
Yep.
Yes, I would have preferred if it was a 6 or a 7 or an 8 for him, but I didn't think he was hopeless in a race without any great depth to it. 3, Royal Gap. Yes, understand why he's favourite. No, I'm not interested under $3. 9, Yelling Up Girl was really good last start under a 4 kilo claimer, and the senior goes on. And 1, Why Me, just trusting that he's better than what he produced last start. 7, 3, 9, 1.
Okay, Scotty is with Master Tactician there in the 3rd. TC, your 4, please.
I'll stick with Royal Gap, number 3 on top, just racing too well, and as we mentioned, maybe a query at the 1,700 metres, but I don't think this race is going to be run at any great tempo, so that might help him. Number 1, Why Me, from that gate, I think can finally get into the race for the first time this preparation, and that might see a little bit of improvement. Number 8, Rasmus, as we mentioned, will be up on speed. Hopefully can give some cheek. And then the 5, She's a Sheila. Just no luck last start. Troy Turner found some traffic behind some tiring horses. Prior to that, was a strong winner in Class 1 company. 3, 1, 8 and 5.
Yeah, I think She's a Sheila is worth forgiving after that most recent run. Just had no luck at a key stage, was unable to build momentum at any point. But I am with Royal Gap. Got to the line well behind Kelvinator over the 1,400 metres. Now gets out to effectively 1,700. That's a query. Am I playing him at that price? No, but I do put him on top. So it's a tip no bet. 3 from 5, She's a Sheila. 9, I agree with Scott, Yelling Up Girl, and 1, Why Me. So I am 3, 5, 9 and 1. Scotty in the third is 7, 3, 9 and 1. TC 3, 1, 8 and 5. Seb, we'll get some sponsors' messages and then we'll come back and have a look at race 4 after the break. Welcome back to Inside Running. You're with Digby, Beacham, Scott Embry and Taylor Courtland. It is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock and we're looking at this Raconteur Stakes meeting down there at Bunbury today. Race 4 is the Greenfields Lodge Handicap over the 1,690 metres at 149, and the scratchings here are 1, Classic Rogue, and also Sluicebox. Seb.
Number 2, Lord Gannicus, $16 out to $17, now into $15. Number 3, Done with the Blues, $4.20 out to $6.50 and $2.30. 4, Let's Deal at $21. 5, Snazzler, $15. 6, Camera Action, $7.50 and $2.50. 7, First Encounter, $2.80, $1.40. 8, Bellini Miss, $15. 9, Manavendra, $23. 10, Famous Dane, $7.50, $2.50. 11, Romeo at $18 and $4.80. 12, Ton of Grunt, $12, and 13, Atlantis Beach at $51.
Scott, can you remember what you were doing 693 days ago?
Probably punting.
Somewhere, sending something around. That was the last time First Encounter won a race.
And at that stage, when he did win that race, how excited were you about his future?
Yeah, very.
There were people talking about him as potentially a railway stakes horse at some stage. Now, things went horribly amiss for him. He got sent across to Victoria. He just never fired a shot over there. He's been away from the races for a long time. But from what I've seen so far this preparation, I don't think you're ever going to probably get to a stage where you say he's back, but I think he's getting pretty close. He couldn't have done anything more in that WA Day Cup at Northam.
And that followed a little mid-prep trial, or when I say mid-prep trial, an early prep trial, because he ran very well fresh as well, TC. Yeah,
absolutely. That's as big a run you're going to watch and then say that horse is going to win next start, and if you're not backing him, something's not quite going right. His final 100 metres was really good, and the Quinella on that occasion were able to just sneak up the fence. He had to do a lot of work rounding the field, got wide on that track there at Northam and got to the line really, really well. Probably the small concern and why I'm not jumping in the 275 is probably a speed map perspective in this race, Scott. There doesn't look to be a heap of it, and it might turn into a bit of a sit and sprint.
It may well do. How do they ride Romeo second up today? Went back first up.
Yeah.
Second up today. Sean O'Donnell's back aboard, drawn 1 in a race without a lot of speed and tempo. Do they go back to riding him for pace?
I would think you'd try to use that gate, wouldn't you? In a race where we're just discussing it, talking about not a great deal of tempo. You've drawn low, out to 1,700. He's capable of riding the speed.
The other one that I thought could go forward today and isn't without a chance at a big price, I didn't mind the first up run of Lord Gannicus.
Very good. Agree. Really good. You were talking the Love and War form lines. Love and War backed off the map last week.
I mean, I love the Love and War race.
Yeah.
I think that Lord Gannicus can run a cheeky here.
Yep.
But in the end, I just couldn't get that run of First Encounter out of my mind from Northam. TC's spot on. As soon as they crossed the line, if you were on him, you're a bit flat because you just lost. But at the same time, you started thinking, wherever he goes next, that'll be me. 1690, fingers crossed they're making some ground, and he's the one for me.
Can I ask you two gentlemen your thoughts on Famous Dane here? Back from, a middle distance / staying trip to perhaps a more suitable distance range with a bit of give in the track?
I mean, I tipped into him last start because I thought he was a wet tracker. So I think now the theory is he just doesn't stay.
Yeah.
So they bring him back in trip to suit. Two things. Is his form actually that good? And has he, off the back of that impressive victory at Albany, did we maybe have a bit of a inflated expectation? Because prior to that, he's been beaten a length and a quarter in a Diggers Cup, and 5 starts ago, he's won a Class 1.
Yeah. Another horse that interests me, and I'm not sure if today's the day, but it looks like he's come back in good order, is Let's Deal. The 2 runs back have been okay, and he's $21 today. I wouldn't be going to sleep on him, TC.
Do we give Done with the Blues none?
Oh, has to be plenty.
Yep, has to be. It's interesting what Ben Pearce had to say yesterday in regards to this mare, that it's a balancing act between sort of giving her the work and her tying up, and she's lethal fresh, but he was of the view yesterday morning that everything this time in would suggest that she is ready to run a good race second up, as opposed to what she's done previously.
Just the way we've explained how we think this race is going to be run, I thought she'd find herself in a really good position.
Yep.
And look, the stats probably don't support it, but on the back of what Ben said, she should improve second up and up to the 1,600 metres. I think they're both big ticks. Now, the way the market is, I'd probably lean to an each-way bet on her, but I'm with Scott. I couldn't get the first encounter run out of my head. I've gone with the 7 on top to beat the 3. 5, Snazzler. I thought Jared Noski might be able to be a little bit more aggressive from that gate and positive and put Snazzler on top. I think he's going well. 2 starts ago, was beaten a length by Camera Action, gets a 4 kilo swing there, and then didn't have too much luck in that first encounter race last start. And then 6, Camera Action, just racing really well. Clearly a query up to what's almost 1,700 metres. 7, 3, 5 and 6 for me.
7, 3, 5 and 6 for TC, and what is a really wide open affair, Scott, outside of first encounter. How did you assess it?
I'm going 7 first encounter, 3 Done with the Blues, 2 Lord Gannicus is my blowout chance, 6 Camera Action. I thought she had Done with the Blues. I thought she was going to run straight on by last start. Is she looking for the 1690? I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah.
But just from that draw, I thought it was a bit tougher today for Camera Action. 7, 3, 2, 6.
Yeah, she was piked last start, wasn't she, Camera Action? He was able to get that run through, and that was the ultimate deciding factor. I'm also with 7 first encounter. Look, I might have telegraphed my thoughts in regards to Famous Day, and I just like the fact that maybe back in trip, a good gate, lose nothing with Lucy going aboard. So I'm quite happy to be there. 6 Camera Action going very well, and 3 Done with the Blues. So I'm 7, 10, 6 and 3. Scott, 7, 3, 2 and 6. TC making it a clean sweep. Also with first encounter, number 7 on top from 3, 5 and 6. Seb?
5th event at Bunbury is the Winds Irrigation and Design Handicap over the 1,200 metres. 2 scratchings from this, number 5 and number 11. Number 1 is Masamune. 5.50, 2.10, 2 Border Force, $21, 3 Estimator, $17, 4 Sure Thing, 6.50 and 2.40. 6 Lost Gravity at $12, 7 Close Talker, $7 and 2.50, 8 Jelly Can Run, $18, 9 Best Mood, $20, 10 Regal Service, $3.90, 170, number 12 Top of the Walk, $26, number 13 On Plein Air at $7 and 2.50, and 14 Defiant Dieright with $81, and not to forget number 15 T-Biscuit at $26.
Okay, race 5 over the 1,200 metres is Graduation. It lost a little bit of its lustre with Kraken Time coming out, the 5. Where did you have Kraken Time in your calculations, gentlemen? Was he right there?
I think we all know how much ability he's got.
Yes.
He was probably also lay of the day territory.
He was lay of the day for you, was he?
Oh.
He had a set of bars on,
Yeah,
and he can stand in the gates.
Yep.
And he's a back marker at Bunbury.
Stands in the gates longer than others.
Yeah.
But other than that, he was a good chance.
Yeah, correct.
I thought this was a very open affair as well, Scott.
Correct. I mean, I've lost a bit of price point out of the one that I like, but this race here, we've talked a bit today about races that have got no speed. This has probably got almost too much.
There's a lot of it. So let's go through this speed map, TC. How are you assessing it? Are you expecting the Kalgoorlie visitor to find the fence?
I thought so. Having said that, gate 1, when you're on an on-speed horse with plenty of pressure, probably isn't the greatest spot to be. And we speak of Sure Thing with Troy Turner. He's probably going to have to leave the gates pretty cleanly to find the top. And then You've also got the likes of Estimator who can go forward. You've got Lost Gravity can go forwards. On Plein Air, I didn't think would be in this speed battle. T-Biscuit can go forward. There's plenty of speed, and from that fact, I was trying to find a horse that might just settle midfield and be strong at the end of 1,200 metres.
Okay, Scotty, how did you assess this race given the likelihood that they will run?
I took the same approach as TC. I wanted to be on one that could sit close handy behind that high-speed battle and present at the right time, and the one that made sense to me was On Plein Air. I thought she was really good first up down the straight with, again, talk about poor CJP getting piked with camera action. It's the same thing On Plein Air. The bob goes the other way. She's a first up winner. She's got no weight on her back. Lucy picks up the ride. She rides these kind of horses beautifully, just sitting behind the speed. She's always been a handy enough mare On Plein Air. So 13 for me, should I say. 1 Masamune, where does he get to from the draw? That's pretty obvious. But his form lines, My Hidden Universe, the straight win first up, they're good enough.
Yep.
6 Lost Gravity should have finished closer in the On Plein Air and Prospector's Pick race. He was held up for the majority of the home straight. He's turned a corner. He's racing really well. And 4 Sure Thing out of the Goldfields. His wins down at Esperance carrying weight. His back-to-back wins up at Kalgoorlie. They're on speed. They've been strong. He gets horses chasing from a long way out. 13, 1, 6 and 4 for me.
Okay, TC.
Pretty similar for me. I've ended up on number 13 as well, On Plein Air for Scott. It's a winner of a Class 3 second up last preparation, so if she's able to reproduce any performance like that, will be hard to beat. 1 Masamune, clearly the horse is going really well, but Scott's outlined a few little queries with him. Number 10, Regal Service, for me, way under the odds, but I thought the last start effort was really good behind a promising one in American Escape, and the 4 Sure Thing might be able to just park on some good speed, but other than that can have the ability to lead and win. 13, 1, 10 and 4.
It's always a little bit dangerous tipping into a horse and maybe backing a horse who was luckless the start prior, but I'm going to do it anyway. I thought Lost Gravity had plenty to give the other day, and from that gate, I don't think Lost Gravity leads, but he's able to sit probably handy. I expect Estimator will come across and probably breeze outside of Sure Thing, and therefore Lost Gravity can slide perhaps into that 1-1 slot. And from there, I think Lost Gravity's awfully competitive in a race of this nature. Currently $12 with Tab Touch, that will do me. So 6, Lost Gravity on top from 3, Estimator, trialled like a horse who is ready for a really good campaign, loves getting his toe in, does this fellow, and he'll get that today. 10, Regal Service, 1200's a worry, had even luck the other day, probably beats American Escape, it's fair to say, and I think American Escape is above average, and 13 On Plein Air for the reasons the gents have outlined. So I am 6, 3, 10 and 13. Scott is 13, 1, 6 and 4, and TC also siding up with On Plein Air, 13 on top from 1, 10 and 4.
Race 6, second leg of the quaddies, the Swan Draft handicap over the 1,400 metres. Number 1, Missile Storm, $18. Number 2, Cosmic Chaos, $81. 3, Chalima, $7 and $2.40. 4, Roaming Danger, $34. 5, Simply Thinkin', $9 out to $10. Number 6, Hayfie at $51. 7, More Than Enough, $18 out to $23, back into $21. Number 8, Mount Shirataku, $2.40 out to $2.60, now into $2.20. Number 9, Rally the Troops, $8 and $2.70. 10, King of Keed, $15. 11, Uncle Jared, $14. 12, Looks at $31. 13, Ideally, $9.50 and $3. And number 14, Canny Jack at $101. No scratchings.
Okay, Mount Shirataku TC resumed at Northam on the 11th of May and made a mess of them in a 3-year-old maiden, then went to a Class 3, made a mess of them, now finds himself in a graduation company, was nommed for the Raconteur Stakes. Grant and Alana have elected to go to this race.
And it looks like a nice race for him, I think. There's not a heap of speed up to the 1,400 metres. The way he won over 1,200 last start in easier grade, looks like 1,400 metres should suit. Looks like he's got a heap of upside. Just love the way he covers the ground too, out in front, the way he just strides across it. It's just, I was really taken with that win last start at Pinjarra. Found it really, really difficult to go past him here. There's a few horses here maybe on their mark, but they're genuine sort of graduation 60-plus Saturday horses, so it's not an easy assignment. I won't be jumping into the 220, but looking really forward to seeing Mount Shirataku take on this, and then hopefully if all goes right, I hope the Williams team send him to the Guineas.
Okay, the horse Mount Shirataku was able to beat the other day was Best of the Gods, Scotty, and Best of the Gods actually ran pretty well the other day behind Thermosphere Lad, who looks like he's trending the right way. Is he the obvious selection here, the 8?
I think we're all trusting and expecting that he's just going to continue to get better. I think whether it's a Grant Alana thing or not, you do find, especially with them, but other people will do it as well, these 3-year-olds that just look like, yes, he's gone from a maiden to a class 3 now to a grad and he needs to keep raising the bar, but you just think, what could he be in 6, 12, 18 months' time?
Yep.
So as TC's saying, TC would like to see him in the Guineas, at Belmont Guineas, at his next outing. So if he's going to go to a level like that, he'd want to be beating these older horses.
Do you think he will be beating these older horses?
I do believe that he will. Mount Shirataku, whether he goes forward, whether he goes back, it doesn't really seem to worry him. He looks like he's a nice horse. 8, Mount Shirataku, 9, the other 3-year-old Rally the Troops. He's beaten, in my opinion, far better opponents of recent times than what Mount Shirataku has in 3-year-old midweekers. And because of the fact that Willie Pike rides 1 and not... it's no knock on Tash Faithful, but she doesn't get the same love from the market. He's going to go around a juicy each-way price. 3, Kalima. Yeah.
She's going well, isn't she?
She is, but again, every time they seem to find the right race for her, something doesn't quite set up nicely.
Yeah.
And today, being that wide draw, she's going to have to concede them a monster head start. And 13, in ideally coming up again in grade, should have won 2 starts ago, did win last start, and looks like she'll continue to improve. 8, 9, 3, 13.
TC?
Number 8 on top for me to beat the 9, Rally the Troops, going well. Scott's outlined that. I've put in for third, number 7, More Than Enough. A horse that is a winner first up, comes to the races off 87 days since we've seen him. Last preparation there at Belmont beat Thermosphere Lad, and we've mentioned the fact that horse is going in the right direction. Clearly going to need a little bit of luck from that draw, but has proven he can do it tough. And then number 3, Kalima. If it was any other horse and you beat home Wooburn Gold last start against the pattern at Pinjarra, you'd be pretty keen, but I've lost trust. 8, 9, 7 and 3.
I'll make it a clean sweep. 8, Mount Shirataku. I think he's going to be awfully hard to beat. You know where he's going to be in the run, and the 1400 doesn't look like it poses any problem. So 8 on top from 3, Kalima. I like this mare. Clearly she doesn't have the best of strike rates. A racing pattern is not conducive to horses having an excellent strike rate, but the 2 runs back have been very, very sound. So she's in for second. 1, Missile Storm, fresh. It's been over 100 days since we've seen him at the races, but his best is quite capable. There's no question there. And 13, ideally, I agree with Scott there. I just think that this horse is trending the right way, albeit needs to elevate today. So I am 8, 3, 1 and 13. Scott, 8, 9, 3 and 13. TC also with 8, Mount Shirataku, 9, 7 and 3 fill his numbers there. So that is race 6. We'll take a break, Seb, and then we're going to have a really good deep dive into the Raconteur. Welcome back to Inside Running. You're with Digby Beacham, Taylor Courtland and Scott Embry. It is 8:45, and the feature today, race 7 down there at Bunbury, is the Listed Raconteur Stakes over the 1400 metres at 3:49. This is a good race, Seb. We'll work through the market and then we'll have a good look at it.
Number 1, Wind and the Line, $10 out to $11, now into $9. Number 2, Storyville, $2.20, now out to $2.60. And $1.40 for the place. Number 3, Elite Missiles, $6 into $4.80 for Pondmaster. $8.50 and $2.80. 5, Awesome Boy, $14 into $12 and $3.60. Number 6, King Hit, $26. Number 7, Patron Express at $31. Number 8, God's Gate, $13. Number 9, Ripper Farouk, $41. Number 10, More Heroic, $34. Number 11, Opportunistic, $8.50 and $2.80. And number 12, Precious God at $31.
Storyville is the starting point here, boys. Clearly, she's been a little bit easy in the market. $2.60 currently with Tab Touch, but it's a race with a little bit more depth than just her, I would have thought. Scott?
I would agree with that, but she's clearly, for me, the starting point of the discussion because she won the Champion Fillies, she won the WA Guineas, has the Guineas form held through. You could argue yes, you could argue no. I'm team we haven't seen actually that much of it. We haven't seen September Born again. We've seen Exceed the Planet once, very impressive, but then not again. But then you've got horses like Pondmaster and Elite Missile you've seen them go around in a Guineas, and you've seen what they've been able to do since.
Exactly right. Storyville the other day, TC, back first up against the older horses, and you talk about getting flow into a race if you're a rider. Through no fault of Williams, she just was unable to be opened up at any stage, was she?
Well, I don't think she ever reached the top in that race whatsoever. She was beaten to almost 3 lengths by Love and War, a horse we're sort of talking about that's going to go to a railway stakes at the end of the year. So that form's going to be very good. She did really well to finish that close. Probably the small knock at that price in a race where I think there is good depth, as you two gentlemen have discussed. Gate number 2, she's going to have a fair bit of traffic in front of her again.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she is. The good thing, I thought, Scott, that trial of Storyville's back on the 22nd of April, it was a bit unconvincing, and then she trialled well, and then off that good trial, she raced well.
I think she raced brilliantly. I loved that return to racing. We're talking about that day at Pinjarra where they were all breaking 33. The sectionals were ridiculously quick, the last 600, so I'm not going to focus in on the 32.22 that she clocked, more so in comparison to the others around her. So she ran the fastest last 600 over 1200 in that race. She went quicker than Love and War. She went quicker than Storm Chaser, quicker than Super Session. They were the next 3 in terms of the last 600s. Love and War's won another 78 plus since, and we all know that on his day, Storm Chaser is, in the future, a likely black type sprinter. So, and she was able to go quicker than them last 600 first up. I thought it was a great return.
All right. For the sake of the exercise, let's touch on every runner here, TC. A couple of comments, please, on Wind in the Line.
Wind in the Line, third up last preparation over the 1400 metres, was third to Cashel Palace in the Listed. So getting up to the 1400 metres, and we spoke to Jared Noski during the week on the Sports Daily. He mentioned that's what this horse is looking for. My small knock was the way Pondmaster ran past him last start. Pondmaster clearly going really well. I'd like to see the best of Wind in the Line again, and he's going to have to do it from a tough draw.
Elite Missile. Scotty, what are you thinking here?
Provided they can make some ground, he has to be a legitimate winning chance.
All right. Pondmaster, we've touched on him a couple of times this morning. TC, going very, very well.
Hopefully he's not slow away again with Lucy jumping on board. Pike jumps off, absolutely flying. The ratings out of the wins have been really, really good. He's clearly gone to another level this preparation.
Could Awesome Boy be a horse who throws a bit of a spanner in the works here, Scott?
Absolutely he could. The last time he raced against Pondmaster, he beat him by 5.5. He has to be, if he finds the front on the fresher side, he has to be some sort of sneaky chance on the each way.
Yeah, okay. Now, King Hit's $26 TC. Last start winner in Class 3 company. Starts prior, form lines around Pondmaster and Elite Missile, who we've touched on.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably, to me, needs to prove that he is up to the likes of Elite Missile, Storyville and Pondmaster, but going to get every possible chance from the draw.
Scott, you referenced Rally the Troops earlier. Patron Express ran second to him at Northam last week.
Like the horse, just think he might be wanting further. He looks like he wants a mile or 2,000 at this stage.
God's Gate TC's horse that you do have a bit of time for. He's the 8 and currently $13 Lactata ride.
Yeah, unfortunately 2 starts ago now that was fresh, so should be a little bit fitter and stronger third up. Was beaten 5 lengths by Pondmaster, so does need to turn that around, and we've mentioned that he will have the company of Awesome Boy for the whole 1400 metres.
Ripper Farouk's drawn low. Luke Fernie indicated yesterday, Scott, that they'd like to hopefully hold up, have the box seat, probably behind Awesome Boy.
Disappointing last start. Thought Chanel Cooper gave him every chance and he didn't offer much.
Okay, then we've got the 2 Cerise and White runners, TC, more heroic and opportunistic.
Yeah, clearly the market says opportunistic is the better chance, and I thought that was the case. It was a really good win last start at Pinjarra in a maiden over 1400 metres. Both need to clearly step up in grade coming out of maiden company.
And Precious God went unders last start, it must be said, Scott, I thought.
Absolutely she did. She's better than that.
Okay, in summation, what are we doing?
Scott?
I'm getting, as the price gets better and better, I'm getting increasingly keen on Storyville. I know the barrier 2 is probably a bit of a discussion around where does she get, but don't forget that she won a 1,000-metre race, and she led and won at 12. She doesn't necessarily need to get that far off them. I think she's going to get out to a backable price, Storyville. 2 on top for me, 4 Pond Master, 3 Elite Missile, 5 Awesome Boy, 2, 4, 3, 5.
2, 4, 3, 5 for Scott TC.
He's clearly going to need the right run, the right toe into it, and for horses to be making ground. But I've gone with Elite Missile. Loved what he's done this preparation. I think Stephen Miller's just continued to improve this horse throughout his career. I'll go that way. The 3 to beat, 2 Storyville, 4 Pondmaster. I'll throw in number 1 Wind in the line. We know he's got the class, and third up last preparation was very good. 3, 2, 4 and 1.
Yeah, I'm with Storyville. Quite keen, actually. I love that first up performance when finishing midfield. She was good to the line, good through the line. Love and War has since franked that form, and you bank on William Pike to find the right openings at the correct time in this race. 2 on top from 5 Awesome Boy. I think you can disregard that most recent effort over the mile. Was probably at the back end of his campaign. Since been freshened, reports are the stable very, very comfortable with where he's at, and you will find him out in front and rolling. 4 Pond Master and 3 Elite Missile. So I am 2, 5, 4 and 3 in the Raconteur. Scott is 2, 4, 3 and 5. TC 3, 2, 4 and 1.
Race number 8, it's the final of the day. The Nixon Electrical Handicap over the 1,200 metres. Number 1, Brachanko, $4 into 320 and 150. 2 Benji's at $51. 3 Hell I Am, $21. 4 is a scratching. 5 Royal Tornado, $12 and 370. 6 Keep It a Mystery, $7.50 out to $12, now back into $9 and $2.90 the place. Number 7, Russian Sniper, $26. Number 8, Dance Boss, $26. Number 9, Keep Attacking, likewise $26. Number 10, Ah Yeah Righto, at $11 and $3.40. 11, Cool Memory, $21. 12, Sunny Honey, $11. Number 13, Decoration, $81. And number 14, Dracana at $3 and $1.50, in from $4.20, out to as much as $5.
Okay, TC, this is a good competitive 72 plus 1,200 metre event. Rich & Co is chasing a 4th successive win, and Ben Pearce indicated yesterday morning that provided he goes there and everything goes well today, we'll next see him in a bowfine.
Yeah, absolutely. So he'd want to be winning this, you'd think, and I think it's a massive positive that he gets back around a corner. Just didn't look really comfortable around the 1,000 metre Pinjarra straight. Still did a good job. Now, you could argue Hanchy probably should have beaten him with even luck, but I think there's good improvement for Rachanko to take off that 1,000 metre straight run to the 1,200 there at Bunbury. And for a 1,200 metre race at this level, I didn't think he'd have a heap of company for the top, Scott.
No, I thought he would roll to the top like he has done at his first 3 runs, and I thought he would produce the same result.
So you're bullish about Rich & Co today, Scott, and more so with Hanchy coming out?
Oh, well, that's just an added bonus, really, isn't it? Hanchy's going exceptionally well, so One of your main dangers comes out, the race thins out, and we're still getting better than $3. I really just believe that this horse is at a level that's going to... I think I'm in 2 minds about him. I'm not convinced that he's ready for a bowfine yet, but I think in time he will be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, yep.
I think he's still got a couple of little...
What's your nag?
My nag is that sometimes he doesn't settle.
Yeah.
He's been better this preparation, but I'm just wary that when he goes to that next level, that's a tougher step to take.
You'd like to think, though, in a fast listed 1,000 metre event with good horses in it, that they're going to go along at a decent enough clip where he's not going to hit the bridle?
I think when he finds a race where he's not the leader himself, he could actually still go to another level.
Yep.
But at the moment, I'm just team Rachanko the whole way through. I think this is a really nice race for him to continue working his way through the grades. No issues with the weight. He's a big, strong horse. No issues with the distance. He's a 3-time 1,200 metre winner. Rachanko, for me, 1 and keen. 12 I put in as the danger. Sunny Honey raced him first up, meets him 3.5 kilos better for a 2.5 length margin, and was super last week without any luck whatsoever. 14 Dracana, she could sit in a very similar spot to where she won from last start, just close handy, and she's got a little burst of speed. And 3 in Hell I Am, forgiving because he was down the straight and never got into the contest. Trial was good, form last prep was good. 1, 12, 14 and 3.
TC, are you with Rich & Co, or are you sniffing an upset?
No, I'm with the 1, Rich & Co, Rachanko, whichever way you like to say it. Number 10, next best for me. I made a case for Oh Yeah Righto, a horse with a nice turn of foot, so I thought it was important that he gets down to the 55.5. Steve Parnham jumps aboard I thought might be able to give a little bit of cheek. Number 14, Dracana. And I'm with Scott, number 3, Hell I Am. I think at big odds might be able to play a part in your trifectas and first fours. Second up, last preparation. Scott spoke about the good form was only 2.5 lengths behind Generosity. That's pretty good form for a 72 plus 1,200 metres. 1, 10, 14 and 3 to close it out.
Yeah, I concur with Hell I Am. The 1,000 was just a bit sharp for him. You look for him at his preferred trip, which is today. I am also, though, with Rich & Co. It's hard to poke holes in his form. Yes, he does rise 1.5 kilos, but you know where he's going to be in the run. He's a big, powerful sprinter, and he's got a good racing pattern. 1 on top from 14, Dracana, and was probably suited by the conditions the other day at Pinjarra, but still did it at both ends. 3, Hell I Am, and 12, Sunny Honey from that low draw. 1, 14, 3 and 12 for myself. Scott 1, 12, 14 and 3, and TC 1, 10, 14 and 3. Gentlemen, it is that time of the morning where we need to get the play, the lay and the best of the best. Scott, can you open the batting please with your best?
Race 8, number 1, Richanko.
Anything else? Or is that the one and only?
Storyville.
Yeah, I'm keen Storyville. I've made Storyville race 7, number 2, my best. The filly beating the boys today, TC. Your best?
I've just got 2 each ways. Race 2, number 8, Supernatural, and race 7, number 3, Elite Missile.
Okay, whilst you have the microphone, your play.
My play, I'm going to have a place multi. So those 2, race 2, number 8, Supernatural, race 7, number 3, Elite Missile, and then we'll throw Richanko in for a place. I think that was just before we went on air, just north of $6.
Okay, so that is the way you're going. You said just north of 8?
6.
Apologies. Okay,
I'll take 8.
Boost it. Okay, Scott, your play, please.
Richanko, race 8, number 1, doubled with Mount Shirataku, race 6, number 8, $7, and then throwing in Storyville as well. Make it 18.
18, okay. Whoa. 18, all right. My play is my Hidden Universe race 2 into First Encounter in race 4. That's paying $7.15. Who are we knocking, TC? Who are we upsetting?
I'm knocking in what's a small field but a deep race. Map looks tricky. Race 2, number 3, Prospector's Pick.
Prospector's Pick, currently $4.40. So it fits into that. Yes, it does. Has to be $4.50 or less. Well done. Scotty.
2 of them.
Oh.
Race 2, number 3, Prospector's Pick. I think it's a tricky map for him.
Agree.
Race 5, number 10, Regal Service. I don't think he should be favourite in that race.
Currently $3.90 with Tab Touch. I'm also knocking, unfortunately, Regal Service. No knock on the horse's talent levels, and probably should have won with even luck the other day, but 13 back to 12 from a high draw over 1,200 metres. You think Regal Service is going to be spotting the leaders a few lengths turning for home. So that is Inside Running. Scotty, you're making your way down there shortly. Broom, did you like anything there today?
Fast John.
Fast John?
In the Maiden.
Fast John and the Maiden. All right. Thanks very much for your time. Good luck today. Good punting. You're on 7+.
Yes, we'll be on at 11:45.
11:45. All right, they're moving in at Rosehill. TC, thank you. Get well.
Thank you, Digby. Scott, go the South Africans.
Yes, and Seb, good morning, and thanks very much for your help this morning as well, mate.
Thanks for having me.